The new discoveries here at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre happened during a recent restoration around the tomb of Jesus.
Beneath the ancient stones of Jerusalem, hidden in the very heart of the Christian world, a remarkable discovery has emerged. Archaeologists, working with meticulous care and guided by the echoes of history, have unearthed something truly extraordinary beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a sacred place long believed to mark the tomb of Jesus Christ. But this isn't just another archaeological breakthrough. This moment has the potential to transform our understanding of one of the most profound stories ever told. In today's video, we'll uncover the details of this incredible find, explore how it aligns with the biblical account, and explain why this revelation is far more significant than most people realize. Stay with us, because what you're about to learn might just challenge everything you thought you knew. It all began with a restoration project in 2022, deep beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, one of Christianity's most sacred and visited places, believed to be the very site of Jesus' tomb. A team of archaeologists, led by Professor Francesca Stassola from Sapienza University of Rome, set out to preserve the church's ancient structure. But as they dug deeper, they made a discovery no one expected, one that could completely reshape our understanding of this historic site, and perhaps even the biblical narrative itself. What they found under the church floor wasn't just more stone or forgotten relics. Instead, they uncovered a 2,000-year-old garden, perfectly preserved through the centuries. This ancient garden featured olive trees, grapevines, and other plants that would have flourished during the time of Jesus. The soil, undisturbed for millennia, contained remains of seeds, olive pits, grape seeds, and plant fragments. So well preserved it felt as if they had been waiting to be discovered. These ancient seeds and pollen provide an incredible window into the past, a direct physical link to the landscape that once existed here. But what truly sets this garden apart is that it wasn't random. The planting beds were carefully arranged, bordered by stone, suggesting intentional design and purpose. These weren't the remains of a wild or untamed garden. This space had been deliberately cultivated. The people who once cared for this land had shaped it with intention, planting, tending, and nurturing it over time. It wasn't just a place to grow food. It was clearly a thoughtfully designed space, possibly holding meaning that went far beyond agriculture. But the revelations didn't end there. Beneath the garden, archaeologists uncovered something even more astonishing: rock-cut tombs carved directly into the stone. These tombs, buried deep beneath the earth, offer new clues about the people who once lived here and the sacred purpose of this place. It raises powerful questions. Was this garden connected to ancient burial practices? Could it have been part of a larger, sacred complex? And most intriguingly, do these tombs, located so close to the church, shed new light on the world Jesus lived in? This hidden garden, long buried beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, is more than just an exciting archaeological find. It's a direct link to the past, a reminder that beneath the surface of the modern world, fragments of ancient life still wait to be revealed. It tells a deeper story, about the people who once walked here, about their reverence for this land, and about the spiritual significance this place held. For centuries, we've known the Church of the Holy Sepulchre as the traditional site of Jesus' tomb. But what if the ground beneath it holds even more meaning than we ever realized? What if it's speaking to us, not just about history, but about faith, community, and the lives of those who believed? The discovery of this ancient garden doesn't just add another chapter to our understanding of this sacred site, it has the potential to reframe how we view biblical history itself. This find beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is not only remarkable in archaeological terms, it may offer direct physical evidence of a key moment in the biblical narrative. In John 19:41, we read, "Now in the place where he was crucified there was a garden." For centuries, this simple line has sparked debate. Was John being literal, or was he speaking symbolically? Some scholars believed the garden might have been a metaphor, a poetic or spiritual image rather than a real place. But now, thanks to a groundbreaking discovery beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, that long-standing question may finally have an answer. What archaeologists uncovered isn't a symbol. It's a real garden, complete with olive trees, grapevines, and other ancient plants, exactly the kind you would expect to find in Jerusalem during the time of Jesus. This isn't literary imagery, it's physical evidence that supports John's account. The importance of this discovery can't be overstated. For years, scholars who questioned whether parts of the gospel were literal or symbolic are now being asked to reconsider. This garden isn't the product of later Christian imagination. It's a real place, one that matches the gospel description of where Jesus was laid to rest, outside the city, in a garden. This find helps resolve a major debate within biblical scholarship. Critics have long argued that John's mention of a garden was symbolic, perhaps meant to evoke themes of life, renewal, or paradise, as gardens often do in religious texts. But the newly unearthed garden tells a different story, one rooted in history, not just metaphor. What lies beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is more than just soil and stone. It's direct, physical confirmation of a moment described in the Bible. Olive pits, ancient seeds, and preserved pollen all help paint a vivid picture of the world that existed 2,000 years ago. This discovery doesn't just validate John's account, it serves as a powerful reminder of how archaeology can connect faith with history. It's a tangible link between what was written and what actually happened, a bridge between belief and evidence, and a story buried in time, now brought back to light. The discovery beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is far more than just the unearthing of an ancient garden. It also deepens our understanding of the location of Jesus' crucifixion and burial, key moments in the Christian faith. In John 19:20, we read that the place where Jesus was crucified was outside the city. This detail, often overlooked, is critically important and aligns precisely with the historical and religious context of the time. The Gospels emphasize that Jesus was crucified outside the city gates. See Hebrews 13:12 and John 19:20. This wasn't a random choice. According to Jewish law, executions were carried out beyond the city limits to avoid defiling Jerusalem's sacred space. It was both a legal and religious requirement. Now, with the discovery of this ancient garden and the tombs just outside the old city walls of Jerusalem, we have physical confirmation of that biblical description. The garden described by John is in the exact type of location it should be, outside the city, in an area that would have been used for burials. This fits perfectly with what we know of ancient Jerusalem's geography. The city was surrounded by fortified walls, and burial grounds were commonly placed just beyond them. The location of the garden under the Church of the Holy Sepulchre matches this historical layout exactly. Even more compelling are the tombs found beneath the garden. These weren't simple or rushed graves. They are rock-cut tombs, newly hewn and carefully constructed, matching the description found in Matthew 27:60 and John 19:41, where Jesus is said to have been buried in the tomb of a wealthy man named Joseph of Arimathea. These are not the kinds of tombs used by the general population. Their size, quality, and craftsmanship suggest they were made for individuals of high status, exactly the kind of tomb Joseph would have offered. In Mark 15:46, we're told that Jesus was laid in a tomb cut out of rock. The tombs discovered under the church match this description precisely. The design, materials, and overall workmanship align with elite burial customs of the time. This discovery powerfully connects the archaeological evidence with the gospel accounts, providing a compelling case that the garden and tomb beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre may be the very place where these pivotal biblical events took place. The tombs discovered beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, when viewed alongside the gospel account of Joseph of Arimathea, offer yet another powerful piece of evidence connecting archaeology to the Bible. These findings provide compelling support for the traditional location of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. The evidence uncovered beneath this sacred site strengthens the link between the biblical text and the physical reality of the land. The garden, the rock-cut tombs, and their position outside the ancient city walls all align perfectly with the details described in the Gospels, strongly suggesting that this is, in fact, the very place where these world-changing events took place. Unmatched evidence, 6 confirmations of the biblical account. The significance of the garden and tombs beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre can't be overstated. Every new layer uncovered adds powerful support to the gospel narrative. Let's walk through 6 key confirmations that make this discovery so remarkable, each one reinforcing the historical accuracy of the biblical accounts. First, confirmation: the garden's location, outside the city walls. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the garden's placement outside the walls of ancient Jerusalem. In John 19:20, it's clearly stated that Jesus was crucified and buried outside the city, a detail rooted in both religious tradition and historical fact. The tombs and the garden found beneath the church are located exactly where they should be, just beyond where the city walls once stood. This detail alone sets a strong foundation for everything that follows, right where they should be, just outside the ancient city walls. This isn't a vague approximation or a lucky guess. It's a precise match with the description found in the Gospel of John, confirming that this could very well be the actual burial site of Jesus. Second confirmation: the nature of the tombs. The tombs themselves provide a second powerful piece of evidence. These are not ordinary burial sites. They are newly carved, rock-hewn tombs. Their design is especially important because it reflects the type of burial typically reserved for the wealthy. This perfectly aligns with Matthew 27:60, which tells us that Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy man, offered his own tomb for Jesus' burial. The craftsmanship and structure of these tombs are consistent with elite burial practices of the time, adding weight to the gospel narrative. These weren't just random graves. They are exactly the kind of tombs someone like Joseph would have commissioned. Third confirmation: tombs cut from solid rock. The third confirmation lies in how the tombs were made. They weren't natural caves. They were carefully hand-cut from solid rock. This small but vital detail directly supports Mark 15:46, which states that Jesus was buried in a tomb cut out of rock. While this may seem like a minor architectural point, it's actually highly significant. In ancient Jerusalem, it was customary, especially for wealthier families, to have tombs carved directly into stone. The fact that these tombs fit that exact description reinforces their alignment with the biblical account. The fact that these tombs were deliberately hand-cut and carefully shaped matches the gospel descriptions in stunning detail. The level of craftsmanship suggests they were intended for someone of high status, further supporting the idea that these tombs were designed exactly as the Bible describes. Fourth confirmation: the garden's immediate accessibility. Another compelling confirmation is the garden's convenient location. The Gospels tell us that Jesus' body was buried in haste due to the rapidly approaching Sabbath. This is mentioned in Matthew 27:57-60 and Mark 15:42-47. In that kind of urgent situation, a burial site needed to be close by and readily available. The garden, positioned just outside the city walls, would have been the perfect location for a quick burial. Its proximity to the city and organized layout suggest it was both intentional and practical. This wasn't just any garden. Its placement and design aligned perfectly with the urgent nature of Jesus' burial, offering a site that was accessible in those final, critical moments before the Sabbath began. Fifth confirmation: the garden's symbolic flora. One of the most spiritually resonant aspects of the discovery is the olive trees and grapevines found in the garden. In John 19:41, the Gospel simply mentions a garden near the site of the crucifixion, but what was found there speaks volumes. The presence of olive trees and grapevines mirrors imagery seen throughout the Bible. The olive tree in particular is a deeply meaningful symbol, often representing peace, reconciliation, and renewal. These are powerful themes, especially in light of Jesus' death and resurrection. The plants found in the garden aren't just botanical remains. They provide a spiritual and symbolic connection to the events of the New Testament. The olive branch, used across Scripture as a sign of peace and divine promise, becomes even more meaningful in this context, representing the hope and new life that followed the crucifixion. This garden isn't just an archaeological discovery. It's a vivid and living echo of the spiritual themes woven throughout the Gospels, bringing deeper meaning to both the location and the story it holds. Sixth confirmation: the unintentional preservation, by Emperor Hadrian. One of the most unexpected confirmations of this site's authenticity comes from the actions of Emperor Hadrian in the 2nd century. In 135 AD, Hadrian attempted to erase all traces of Christianity by constructing a Roman temple directly over the site, believed to be where Jesus was crucified and buried. Ironically, Hadrian's attempt to suppress Christian memory ended up doing the opposite. His construction project buried the garden and tombs under layers of debris and stone, effectively sealing and preserving them. While his goal was to destroy Christian heritage, he inadvertently protected one of the most sacred locations in Christianity from centuries of exposure, destruction, and decay. This act of Roman suppression highlights something incredibly important. The early Christian community clearly revered this site. Hadrian wouldn't have gone to such lengths unless it held deep significance to the believers of that time. His response confirms that this place was not just a burial site. It was a site of immense religious and historical importance. Part 5. Why this discovery is far more important than people realize. At first glance, this might seem like just another fascinating archaeological find, but in reality, it's so much more than that. This discovery serves as a powerful validation of the Bible's historical accuracy. For decades, skeptics have argued that much of the Bible, especially the Gospel accounts, is mythological, symbolic, or exaggerated. But this find directly challenges that view. The garden is real. The tombs are real. The location of the crucifixion and burial, it's all real. This isn't just a theological idea or a metaphor, it's grounded in physical evidence. We're talking about actual soil, actual tombs, and actual plants that match the descriptions in the Gospels. For those who've claimed the Bible is merely a collection of moral lessons or symbolic parables, this discovery presents a serious challenge. It roots the gospel story in verifiable history, in geography, archaeology, and living memory. The burial garden described in John, the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, the very spot where Jesus was laid to rest, all of it has been unearthed in a way that leaves little room for doubt. This forces a reconsideration. The Bible isn't just a spiritual guidebook. It's a historical record tied to real people, real places, and real events. What was once believed only through faith is now confirmed by evidence from the earth itself, and that makes this discovery one of the most important biblical validations in modern history. This discovery is truly significant. It uncovers a story that remained buried for nearly 2,000 years. What's most astonishing is that it was Emperor Hadrian's own attempt to erase Christian history that ended up preserving it. His goal was to eliminate Christianity's presence in Jerusalem by building a Roman temple over the sacred site. But in a remarkable twist of fate, his actions unintentionally protected the very ground he tried to cover up. By burying the area under layers of construction, Hadrian shielded the garden and tombs from time, weather, and destruction, ensuring they would remain untouched for generations. Instead of wiping out Christianity's roots, he safeguarded them for future discovery. Today, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands on that very spot, where Jesus was crucified and buried. It has become a powerful symbol of faith, rising above the layers of history that tried to conceal it. This isn't just another archaeological site. It's a place where faith and history meet in perfect alignment. What has been uncovered beneath the church is more than just ancient ruins. It's a moment where archaeology, history, and belief all point to the same truth, that the events described in the Bible, especially those surrounding the crucifixion and burial of Jesus, are not merely spiritual metaphors. They are grounded in real places, real people, and real events. In a world where faith is often met with doubt, this discovery stands as a powerful reminder. Christianity is not just a belief system or a tradition. It is anchored in historical reality. The locations spoken of in the Bible are not legends lost in time. They are real, tangible, and, as we now know, waiting beneath our feet to be rediscovered. As we reflect on this incredible find, we are reminded of the timeless strength of truth. In an age of skepticism, this is a profound call to remember, believe, and explore. The evidence beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre doesn't just support the Bible, it illuminates it, proving that some truths really do stand the test of time. If this discovery has inspired you as much as it has inspired us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Help us continue to spread this powerful message. The connection between faith and history is more real than we ever imagined.